Louis Steamers. ESPN and Anheuser-Busch Sports Productions present the Major Indoor Soccer League. Brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. Action here at the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh. And good afternoon, Bob Carpenter, along with former All-Star goalkeeper Shep Messing. We had a great opener last week up in Baltimore, and now we come here today with St. Louis at Pittsburgh. And Shep, it's tough for any team to beat Don Popovich in his own building.
There's no doubt about it. We have two teams, the St. Louis Steamers and the Pittsburgh Spirit, playing contrasting styles of play. St. Louis, for them to have a chance to win the game today, they must create opportunities, and they must finish off those opportunities.
And, of course, big stories in both of the markets this year. St. Louis and Pittsburgh both have brand-new coaches behind the bench. Two key players for St. Louis. With the shot, six-time All-Star defender Tony Bellinger. And then with the header goal, Don Ebert, the St. Louis all-time leading scorer. On the bench, a familiar face returns to St. Louis. Pat, you're back in St. Louis. Do you feel like you've ever really been away?
There are times I don't, that's for sure. I think the neat thing is that the nucleus that we had there the first 2 years is still there, and it's really a lot of fun. I'm sure I've changed in the last 3 or 4 years, and some of the players have changed, but it's really fun to be back home. I mean, that's where I grew up, and I enjoy it. It's great so far.
The Pittsburgh Spirit, a veteran team in the Eastern Division. And when they score, you can usually find one man in front of the net, the veteran, number 12, Paul Child. 4 goals in one game against St. Louis last year. And now the winningest coach in MISL history coaches the Spirit.
I always like to be in Pittsburgh. A few years ago, I was supposed to be here, but when Chris asked me to come, I was really pleased to be here. We brought some good players from Las Vegas. They have some good roster here. When I came, like players like Mackenzie, O'Hara, Paul Child, it's a good insurance. That combination with the players that we brought and the players what we have here is going to be a very exciting team.
Coming up in just a moment, the St. Louis Steamers on the road against the Pittsburgh Spirit. It's a Saturday afternoon of MISL soccer at the Civic Arena downtown Pittsburgh, and we're set for the St. Louis Steamers against the Pittsburgh Spirit. St. Louis 2-1 on the young season, and Pittsburgh winning one here at home, and rather winning on the road and losing one at home, are 1-1 on the year so far. This, of course, a battle of goalkeepers like many MISL games are, and St. Louis has an outstanding one in Slobo Ilievsky, the all-time leading keeper of the league, and for Pittsburgh, a man out of St. Louis, David Bursick, who you know from his old days with the New York Cosmos, and he certainly is an outstanding athlete as well.
We're going to get a look at the two of the best goaltenders in the MISL. We're going to look at David Bursick. I think he'll come into his own this year. He's played tremendously the last few years. He has big size, strength, agility, quickness. Tremendous acquisition for the Pittsburgh Spirit.
He was 1 year at St. Louis U and then was drafted by the Cosmos and entered the professional ranks at that time. The senior official this afternoon, you had a brief look at Gino DiPolito, and here is Slobo Ilievsky. Slobo doesn't seem to be slowing down at the age of 35. The Yugoslavian had an outstanding year last year, and he is the basic standard by which the other keepers in this league have been measured, Shep, for several years.
Well, if you had to do a character profile, the prototype goaltender, that's Slobo. Quickness with his feet, agility. He comes out of the box and not only breaks up attacks, but gets attacks started for the St. Louis Steamers.
Terry Campbell is the local official in the penalty box today. Gino DiPolito, the senior referee, and Julio Salas joins him. Soccer League, and St. Louis in their road blues will be going from left to right. Pittsburgh in their bright home yellows the other way, and we're just about set for action here at the Pittsburgh Civic Arena, where they drew better than 10,000 for their season opener last week. And some good results for ball clubs the last couple of nights. We'll talk about as the afternoon goes on, as that Kansas City team is off to a hot start. They won a big one at home over Baltimore last night, and they have the MISL Defensive Player of the Week in Alan Mayer. St. Louis, you're looking at Jeff Cacciatore, the second smallest player in the league now, though we have a smaller guy up in Baltimore, or rather with Minnesota, who played at Baltimore last week. Don Ebert joins him up front. Ricky Davis will be the midfielder in front of Mark Fredrickson and Tony Bellinger. Slobo, the goalkeeper. And rather than say Iliyevsky all afternoon, most people just say that's Slobo, and they know who you're talking about. Back on defense, John O'Hara for Pittsburgh intercepts, and it's out to midfield. St. Louis getting it back. Tony Bellinger, the six-time All-Star defender, clearing it in. Paul Child back to Dave McKenzie. They've got two of the better playing together defenders in soccer here in Pittsburgh, Shep, and John O'Hara and Dave McKenzie.
Well, they've been playing together for a long time, and for a defender to play together, communication, even without speaking, really helps them back in defense.
Cacciatore midfield. Left wing corner for Ebert. McKenzie on him. Ebert turns. Can't get a shot. Rebound. Ooh, and Cacciatore almost got one in. And David Bursic may have gotten a piece of that ball to keep it out of the net in the first minute 15.
And that's a great opportunity for St. Louis. Created off the boards. Looked like Bursic got a piece of it. But perhaps a bad sign, a bad way to start off the game for Pittsburgh.
St. Louis marking up man-to-man, trying to keep them from getting it upfield. That enables Bellinger to intercept. Cacciatore for Bellinger, but Bursic has it. David Bursic went to DeBerg High School in St. Louis. 1 year of college, then dropped it into the pros. Long release, left wing. Iliyevsky knocks it away. Off the foot there of Pittsburgh's Z. Kapka as they made a quick counterattack down the left wing.
And that's the trademark of the Don Popovic coach team. The quick outlet pass from the goaltender down for a shot on goal.
Cacciatore centers it for Sam Bick, the team captain. On the left point, Mark Fredrickson, just come over from Kansas City with Greg Mikowski in that deal. Basically, the Steamers got a coach and two pretty good players from the Comets, but KC doesn't seem to be hurting so far. Rick Benben has them off to a good start. Pesa to the red line for Greg Mikowski. Back to Niego Pesa, hard shooting forward, wide off the boards, knocked down by McKenzie. We're in the first 2 minutes and scoreless. John O'Hara to midfield is stepping on for Pittsburgh. Number 11, Nicky Klinkarski. He's got it down the right wing with Sammy Bick on him. Back to O'Hara, who is teamed with Adam Topolsky now back on defense. O'Hara will leave at his first opportunity because he's been out there for a while. Coaches like to change a little more often. Here's Fred Gurgurov, one of the all-time leading scorers of the league. Plays it off there for Godfrey Ingram, and Slobo kicks it away.
Godfrey Ingram with a great left-footed shot. Slobo kicking it away, and now St. Louis on the counterattack.
Pesa for Bick, and back to midfield for Mikowski. Big save by the St. Louis keeper early. Mikowski shooting it in, and Godfrey Ingram blocked it. Here comes a guy you're very familiar with, Shep. Fred Gurgurov. What a tremendous player he's been down through the years in this league.
Well, I don't think Freddie gets enough credit. The number 2 all-time leading scorer in the MISL behind Steve Jungle. Freddie could put that ball in the back of the net.
Ingram centers it in front, and it's off the foot of Klinkarski. Iliyevsky controlling for St. Louis will lay it down for the youngest player ever to play in a MISL All-Star game, Daryl Duran, drafted by St. Louis right out of Christian Brothers High School. Here's Bellinger. Pretty good move and a good shot. Bursic went down to make the save. Stuart Lee off the boards for Tony Bellinger. Pesa. A lot of folks in Long Island interested in this young man who lives back in that area. Daryl Duran in front. Stuart Lee couldn't reach the rebound. Pesa, a header, and a good block on the defense. It looked like Helmut Dudek got in front of that one. Dudek, a former Memphis American player, one of the greatest shooting defenders in the league. And Duran dumps his man Gurgurov right at the red line. That's the first foul of the game.
And we had great action early on. Very surprising to see both teams coming out and getting so many unmolested shots on goal. Teams in the MISL like to come out, play defensive soccer. We get a look at Godfrey Ingram cranking it with the left foot. Slobo screened, but has enough composure to make that kick save with his left foot.
So it's Helmut Dudek and Adam Topolsky on defense now for Pittsburgh as Dudek gives it to his teammate. Godfrey Ingram in the right wing receiving it. They've also got Charlie Falzone out there. And up front, the target man, Fred Gurgurov. That's who they're looking for as they got it over Mikowski. Gurgurov in the corner against Bellinger. That's a pretty good matchup. Offense against defense. Out on top, left side. Dudek, a first-time shot in front, and Gurgurov couldn't poke home the rebound. Bellinger did a good job of staying between his foot and the goal.
That's exactly the kind of situation Pittsburgh wants to create. Freddie Gergerev down in the box, even though he was marked by Bellinger. It's from that position where he scores his goals.
Bellinger intercepts a ball in the air. Stuart Lee, who's just come to St. Louis from the LA Lasers after scoring 42 goals for Peter Wall out there last year. Bellinger for Mikowski. Lee, the missing link in terms of a cagey veteran in front of the net that St. Louis has been lacking the last season or two.
Well, I think those are two great acquisitions for the St. Louis Steamers.
Especially with Tony Glavine retiring to become the assistant coach because of those knee problems. They had to get somebody to replace Tony.
And who's it going to be? I mean, Stuart Lee, Greg Mikowski, two tremendous additions. I really look for Ricky Davis to assume some of that leadership that Glavine always had for the Steamers.
Tesa couldn't get it inside. Paul Child took it away. Right down the middle. Here comes Pittsburgh. Clint Karski a shot. Stepping in front of that one, team captain Sammy Bick. Check it. That was Charlie Falzone shooting for Pittsburgh. Here's Ebert right side for Mark Fredrickson.
Push out!
Bick, left side. Ricky Davis in the corner. Looked upon as the finest American player over the last many years. Cacciatore had it taken off his foot by Topolsky. Here comes Paul Child in Pittsburgh. Right side for Ian Sibbies. He's a tricky little guy. Great speed. Left side. Fanning momentarily was Kapka, but he got it back. And now Ebert steps in front to make the steal. Taken back away by Sibbies. Topolsky checking in front. That was Val Tuksha with a shot off the boards. Volleys it back in there. Child centering. Cacciatore gave it right back to him. And finally cleared away by Fredrickson off the foot of Val Tuksha.
Great action in front of the St. Louis goal as Pittsburgh keeps the pressure up, can't finish off.
Fredrickson in the corner. Good sliding defensive play. That comes the Spirit. Helmut Dudek was the one that stopped the St. Louis attacker a moment ago. We're already 6 minutes and 10 seconds into a very quickly moving first quarter. No scores so far. Paul Child against Cacciatore, as well as Bick on the boards. Gets a little help from Z. Kapka, who receives it back down the right wing. And a block by Davis. Sibbies the header. Stuart Lee for St. Louis. O'Hara coming up on him in midfield. They're going to call Stuart Lee for obstructing the defensive man. Second foul on St. Louis. Quick restart. Cacciatore stealing it for St. Louis. At midfield, O'Hara ahead for Child. He and Mikowski race to the corner. Paul Child owned St. Louis last year. Had his best games of the year against the St. Louis team. And really didn't have that wonderful of a year. He had 28 goals, but Paul Child's the kind of guy who can score more than that.
Well, Paul Child, an integral part of the Pittsburgh team. He scored 2 power play goals the other night to set a record.
Here's a 2-on-1. Sibbies and a shot wide by Child, who had Slobo at his mercy but couldn't get it on goal.
Absolutely end-to-end action. Very little defense being played right now as both teams going at each other, trying to get that all-important first goal.
Here's Kapka. And a block by Stuart Lee. Well, Val Tuksha gave him a great ball coming in for the right point. Fans here in Pittsburgh excited about the start of this one. Everybody's been on the attack thus far. There's a quick outlet, left wing for Mikowski, but O'Hara gets there first. John O'Hara, a former All-American at the University of Pittsburgh. Better than halfway through the first quarter already. Nicky Klinkarski down the right side boards. There to receive it, Dave Hagen, one of the fine young players in this league, a Scottish native. Dave McKenzie. Well, here's where a team with Pittsburgh experience, Shep, they know that they're being marked up man for man all over the field by St. Louis. So they're going to throw it around, utilize the goalkeeper until they get the break they're looking for. And Ebert almost stole one away for the empty net goal right there.
Absolutely right, Bob. When things are tight, play it back all the way to the goaltender, try and open things up.
Dave Hagen to the left wing corner. Shooting. Bellinger got a piece of it. Hagen might have been better off bumping that ball off the boards rather than trying to get it on goal. O'Hara and Slobo makes the catch.
What's the job that the Pittsburgh Spirit have this year? So much offensive attacking power, firepower. Freddie Gergerev, Godfrey Ingram, Paul Child. They have to integrate it into a team. St. Louis, I feel, is already integrated into a team, and the addition of Stuart Lee and Mikowski really could make it this year for the St. Louis Steamers.
Less than 6 minutes left in the first quarter. Bursic has saved a couple. Slobo Ilievsky has kicked one out of the St. Louis goal. John O'Hara up over the top. Godfrey Ingram, who can fly against Daryl Duran. Bellinger helping out. Ingram beating Duran to the corner. That forces the foul. Number 3 on St. Louis as Duran called for holding. We'll take a timeout. 5:36 first quarter, scoreless from Pittsburgh. High-flying, non-stop first quarter of MISL soccer from Pittsburgh. A long ball by Diego Pesa goes into the crowd. That'll give the officials finally a chance to take their 1-minute timeout in the first quarter of play. We played better than 10 minutes already, and we're scoreless. St. Louis on the bench will talk it over. They're scoreless with the hometown Pittsburgh Spirit. Brought to you by Shep. One thing coaches always look for is to outman the opposition in the attacking zone, and Pittsburgh was able to get a 2-on-1 a few moments ago.
Well, there's the perfect 2-on-1 opportunity. The key for Paul Child is to hit that ball first time with accuracy. The 2-on-1 is only dangerous when the player receiving the ball hits it first time. Paul didn't get all of that ball. The intention was there, and a coach likes to think, if I'm creating opportunities like that, we're going to finish off and score goals.
4:50 left in the first quarter. We are scoreless. Pittsburgh on the attack, rejected there by Tony Bellinger, and I think Fred Grigoriev got a piece of Bellinger, sending him into the boards, and that will be the first Pittsburgh foul of the afternoon. St. Louis has committed 3, so it's been a pretty cleanly played action along the boards.
And that's some of the subtle violence you could see in indoor soccer. In the MISL, the elbows, the knees, the pushing off the ball, not always picked up, but it's there.
Slobo Ilievsky, right side for Tony Bellinger. Down the right side boards for speedy little Redmond Lane, making his first appearance. He's basically a third-line performer for St. Louis, many times with Armando Betancourt, who is not out there. Davis has shot and hit his teammate Don Ebert. Pat McBride switching things around, and Don Popovich says that he really doesn't like to play with set lines. He says, I've got 3 players at every position. They know when they're tired. I trust them. They're professionals, and they know when to come out. You can't argue with the results over the last 7 years.
Well, you can't argue with the results, and Don Popovich makes it sound easier than it is. Every player wants to be out there, get his playing time, get his goals, help win the game. They try and alternate lines, but it doesn't always work.
Ricky Davis hit one just high. And that situation you just saw there a moment ago is the situation they want with Davis. That's why they've switched him to the midfield instead of the forward line. They like him bringing the ball up with the whole play in front of him rather than being turned back to the goal waiting for the ball. Here's Redmond Lane down the left side for St. Louis. In front, Ebert a touch on it. Lane a rebound, but he miskicks it way upstairs. It'll be a kick in for Pittsburgh. 3:33 first quarter. We'll take a timeout. Scoreless from the Steel City. Back in Pittsburgh, there's one of the real characters in the MISL. Gino DiPolito, the senior official, makes cabinets in the offseason in Yonkers, New York. He is a delightful guy.
Hollywood Gino. I'll tell you, Paul Child from the Pittsburgh Spirit, number 12, he's a carpenter, so maybe they have something in common, something to talk about.
Had an injury during that last flurry in front of the goal. Don Ebert got a shoulder, it looked like, as they were both going for the ball on Adam Topolsky, who went down hard.
Well, Adam tonight is playing with a sprained ankle, and that's that contact in the box. Anything goes to try and create, score that goal.
St. Louis chasing up front. Now they've got Duncan McEwen with Armando Betancourt on the front line in front of the midfielder, Daryl Duran. McEwen is normally a midfielder. John O'Hara back to his goalkeeper, David Bursic. Bursic, right side, they're in trouble. Duran intercepts. Here's Betancourt, a former Herman Award winner at the University of Indiana, in the corner centering, and that one rejected by John O'Hara.
And that's the great thing about the tactics of this game. Pat McBride throws in a line that usually doesn't play like this. The reason is to put pressure on all over the field, try and create something up front, and mark all over the field.
And Don Popovich agrees with that style because of his playing different people with each other. He says, hey, if one guy's having a bad game, look at this in front. Slobo, a big save on Ian Sibbies on a wonderful feed from Paul Child.
Absolutely great action. Sibby cracking that ball off the wall, and Slobo coming up big. The deflected header, Sibby on a full volley with the left foot, and Slobo comes up very big.
Now as we go down the left wing, Armando Betancourt is fouled by Tuksha. Duncan McEwen takes the shot, but they're going to make him bring it back and restart it. To complete my point, Popovich says if one player's having a bad game, why make the whole line have a bad game? Get different people playing with each other.
He's playing the odds, as you saw Slobo did on that sequence.
Duran off the boards. Betancourt couldn't reach it in front. Makowski tries to keep it in. 6 fouls between the two clubs now. Duran back downfield to his goalkeeper, Slobo Ilievsky. On the right side, Sammy Bick. Dick, the team captain. A lot of folks up in the Minnesota area remember Sammy's days with the kicks of outdoor soccer. And by the way, you folks in the San Diego area tonight, the Chicago Sting is in town for a 7:35 local kickoff. Get out and see the MISL team in your area this weekend. A couple of games tomorrow we'll tell you about at Minnesota and Los Angeles. Here's Daryl Duran to the midfield stripe. Armando Betancourt ahead for Duncan McEwen. At the point, gets it inside. On the left side, Makowski. And a good block by Val Tuksha, who captured his first MISL Defender of the Year award in 81-82. He's also a 3-time All-Star who had some great seasons in New York with the Arrows. There's the San Diego game tonight. Tomorrow, both of these are 6:05 local time kickoffs. Chicago at Los Angeles, and also Baltimore is at Minnesota. So get out this weekend and support the MISL team in your area. Boy, that Minnesota team was impressive up at Baltimore last week, and coming from behind to win on the road.
And these two teams look super here in the first quarter, up and down.
McKenzie with a minute left across the goal mouth and knocked out of there. Ian Sibbies couldn't get the touch he was looking for. Stuart Lee for St. Louis. And here's where they want Ricky Davis bringing it up. Up the left wing for Diego Pesta, who played at Ulster Community College in New York. Feeds it in. Davis turning. Can't get goalward. Hit hard by McKenzie, and that'll be a foul. It looked like O'Hara had Davis tied up pretty well, and then McKenzie came from the other side to help out and looked like a shoulder into Davis.
Ricky's so strong and so physical, difficult to take down, and often creates those fouls.
The dead ball situation cleared down with 30 seconds remaining. Slobo, long ball. David Bursic grabs it easily. Dave Hagen. Paul Child. Sibby! Score! No, it's Fred Gugurev, number 9. A perfect feed from Paul Child. That was a wonderful transition goal.
You watch the play being created with that tremendous through ball to Paul Child. And then first time, Slobo handcuffed by the ball because he was backing up. Really a difficult goal to give up for the St. Louis Steamers. But that fast 2-on-1 created by Paul Child and put in the back of the net by Z. Kapka. Paul Child made it happen with his back to the goal, laid off a perfect pass, and Slobo really handcuffed, backing up into the goal.
First goal of the year from 18, Z. Kapka, assisted by Paul Child, his second of the year at 14-14. Duran a volley wide. 5 seconds left, and it looks like the first quarter will come to an end with the home team leading unless Pesa puts this one away. So a goal with only 46 seconds. Check it, 19 seconds remaining. 14-41. Z. Kapka from Paul Child. The home team on top 1-0 after 15 minutes of play. CFA football coming up tonight on ESPN with South Carolina against Florida State. That's a 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific live kickoff. Another super CFA matchup, Florida State and South Carolina tonight on ESPN. Florida State number 10 in the nation. And here we've got a good one after 15 minutes of play. A great transition goal here by Pittsburgh as Paul Child found Z. Kapka screaming down the slot. What a great first-time ball by Child.
Well, that's the killer pass that beats 3 St. Louis Steamer players. Z. Kapka, as we talked about earlier, converting that 2-on-1 opportunity by hitting it first time. When you hit it first time, it really handcuffs the goalkeeper. He's back on his heels.
Z. Kapka got his first goal of the year. Paul Child his second assist. And coaches love, or if you're on the other side of the coin, hate a goal in the last minute of a period. It really sets the tempo and really dictates momentum.
The great thing is you can never figure out how the game is going to be played in the MISL. I would expect both teams to come out here a bit defensively. Instead, we had a wide open first quarter with shots, often unmolested shots, at both ends of the field.
Dave Hagen will kick it off at midfield for Pittsburgh, going now from left to right with Fred Gugurev. O'Hara will bump it down the floor, and Redmond Lane intercepts there for St. Louis. Back to his goalkeeper, Slobo Lievsky. And you could see on the replay that shot was coming at such velocity that it got between the goalkeeper's legs.
Well, a shot hit on a full volley at that pace can travel up to 100 miles an hour, and that's why the feeling of helplessness for the goaltender.
Fred Gugurev rejected there, back in midfield for O'Hara. Shep, after you see a late goal in the first quarter like that, what are some of the things you look for in the first minute or two of the next quarter?
Well, the thing I look for the St. Louis team to do is come right out at the start of the second quarter and pick up the momentum a little bit. Press a little bit further up, maybe towards midfield, as they're doing right now. Get them back in the game, get their heads up. It's only a 1-0 score. Plenty of time to go.
Pittsburgh doing a great job of controlling that ball as they knock it around. Gugurev back to O'Hara. To midfield now for Dave Hagen. Bellinger knocking it away momentarily, but O'Hara keeps possession. Left side, Gugurev to the right point for Dave Hagen. Bellinger on him. He tried to pick out that far post to hit it wide, and here comes Redmond Lane for St. Louis. Bellinger for Ebert and back. Tony Bellinger mishit it to the right side, but that's where they posted Ebert up to use him as the target man, and he played it off to the man breaking in. Linkarski left wing. St. Louis got everybody behind the ball that time. Here's Hagen. Slobo a piece of it high off the glass. Hard shot by number 11, Nicky Klinkarski. And we've got a dangerous play called on number 5 of St. Louis, Duncan McEwen.
That's a trademark of the St. Louis teams, getting everybody back. Watch Slobo anticipating the shot. Two-handed parry as he leaves his feet.
Around the boards it goes, and Gugurev called for being on the back of Mark Frederickson. St. Louis with the free kick coming back the other way. Ricky Davis for Stuart Lee. Adam Topolsky on him. Back on top for Sammy Bick. Topolsky rejects that centering pass. Davis shooting. Well wide to the left point. Mikowski tries to hold it in against Godfrey Ingram. Ingram with tremendous speed beating the bigger Mikowski along the boards. Greg Mikowski called for the foul.
What a matchup. Watch Godfrey Ingram, one of the quickest players in the league. Greg Mikowski, they get tangled along the boards, and the big man won that battle.
Adam Topolsky back on defense. Charlie foul zone for Pittsburgh. Straight ahead for Paul Child, and Mikowski rejects it. McEwen back to the guy they called the face, Greg Mikowski. Ingram again takes it away from him. Pittsburgh back the other way. Right side helmet Dudek for Adam Topolsky. Dudek got a big left foot if he can let one fly. Mikowski, knowing that, overplayed him to that side and made the block. Boy, Shep, it adds so much of a dimension when you have a defender who can shoot like a Helmut Dudek, like a Heinz Wirtz in Baltimore. They really can make a difference out there, and that's why St. Louis went out and got Greg Mikowski during the offseason.
Absolutely right. The problem is, to create scoring opportunities, the attacking players, the forwards, are always going to be marked. The defenders are on them all over the field. That leaves space for those big defenders with the hard shots to come forward, have a little room, and crack a shot. Helmut Dudek for Pittsburgh, Greg Mikowski for St. Louis.
Dudek down the left wing corner. Paul Child and Sam Bick ran into each other. Thus, nobody was there to get the ball. And Duncan McEwen has it for St. Louis. For Sammy Bick, we've played 4 minutes of the second quarter. Pittsburgh leads 1-0 on a goal by Z. Kapka in the last minute of the first quarter. Stuart Lee for McEwen, who dribbled it wide. He will leave, as will Stuart Lee. Pesa for St. Louis comes on. Tuksha is on for Pittsburgh, as well as Ian Sibbies. A block by Mikowski. Val Tuksha gets it to midfield. Sibbies, right point in the corner, turning in front. Sibbies! And he may have fouled the defender, Sammy Bick, as he was going for the loose ball. That's what the call was. St. Louis, quick restart. Mikowski for Duran in front. That one knocked away as Ebert was trying to get it. Dave McKenzie with the defensive flag. Greg Mikowski can rip. In for Ebert. Duran centers. Here's Pesa. Ooh, he hit it on goal, but David Bursing was there to make the save. Pesa, one of the biggest shooters in the game.
Once again, Bob, something's got to give. I've never seen so much shooting in the first half of the game. These shots are flying like rockets. Both teams, I think, have made a decision. The goaltending is good. The teams are good. Let's take some outside shots, create opportunities on goal, and we're seeing it at both ends of the field.
Don Ebert called for the foul there, and here comes Pittsburgh. McKenzie, left side, and it's up into the stands as Kapka hit it off the foot of Tony Bellinger. We'll take a timeout. 9:48 left in the first half of play. Pittsburgh leads it 1-0. Diego Pesa, big shot at the other end a moment ago, and David Bursick was there on the near post to keep St. Louis off the scoreboard.
Well, Pesa with a big cannon and Bursic covering the near post gets down so quickly for a big fellow.
McKenzie centers. Pesa there to receive it. A healthy Pesa and Ebert vital to St. Louis's hopes this year.
Well, the talk around the league is that acquisition of Stuart Lee could be the missing ingredient for St. Louis. Beforehand, Donnie Ebert had so much pressure on him to score goals. Now, with Pesa, Stuart Lee, perhaps they have the right ingredients.
Here comes Pittsburgh. Ian Sibbies, right side for Kapka. Fredrickson couldn't steal it, and Betancourt and Bellinger team up to knock that one to the corner. Mark Fredrickson knocks it away. Armando Betancourt, a former Herman Award winner as the college MVP at the University of Indiana. One of the strongest players in possession of the ball you'll see. Fouls so far in the second quarter, 3 for St. Louis. Up into the stands, off the foot of Adam Topolsky, and St. Louis will get a corner kick here with 8:54 remaining. David Bursick talking to his defenders.
David pointing out to his defenders that on the previous play, Diego Pesa did not attempt to shoot. Instead, he attempted to bank it off the boards, and Bursic, I think, shouting to his defenders, don't fall for the fake. Follow that ball until it's out of play.
Ricky Davis will be the trigger man on the St. Louis dead ball situation. Cacciatore comes on. Somebody will have to leave. It'll be Armando Betancourt as Pat McBride makes a substitution. Now they'll have Cacciatore take the kick and post up Davis in front. They got Pesa, Bellinger, and Fredrickson out on top. Hagen and Grigorev out on top of the Pittsburgh defense, numbers 9 and 6 in the middle of your screen. Cacciatore tried to let Bellinger roll it through for Pesa, but it was stopped before it ever got there and easily picked up now by the Pittsburgh Spirit. A lot of teams are having those set plays these days in the dead ball situations. If you don't, you're wasting opportunities to score a lot of goals in this league.
Well, something like 30% of all goals scored in the MISL come off set pieces, set situations. Teams and coaches are now spending a lot of time working on those set moves.
Grigorev on the boards, beating Bellinger, getting it to Hagen. Centers it, man open, Paul Child. And he had to shoot it wide because he had nothing to shoot at with several players in front of him. Here's Hagen at the top of the slot. Davis fending him off as he gets it to the point for Topolsky. Into the corner. Grigorev turning. Ooh, he just missed the far post.
That's vintage Freddie Grigorev. Turning with his back to the goal, getting off a shot with a player hanging on top of him and almost poked it in that far corner.
Slobo left side for Fredrickson. He gives it to Duran, who just stepped on, and St. Louis may be caught with too many men on the floor. Daryl Duran came on the floor before the man he was replacing left, and the whole Pittsburgh bench was up in arms, Shep, as the Steamers got caught with too many men.
Gino DiPolito spelling it out. Too many players on the field. Gino, an excellent referee, indicative of the level of officiating all over the league. But it's an unfortunate situation. There's Freddie Grigorev on the previous play, cranking with his left foot, just missing the far post. And watch Slobo react to it. Kick save with the right foot. He had it covered, but a dangerous situation.
So now for the first time this afternoon, a team will be on the power play as Pittsburgh will get a man advantage. Stuart Lee will serve the 2-minute penalty for St. Louis, and we'll check and see who Don Popovich puts out there on this power play. It looks like Hagen, Ingram, Marcio Leite, a fancy ball handler, is the guy who will be the quarterback on the power play. Hagen shot blocked, and Tony Bellinger clears the midfield. Time of the penalty, 7:12 on the St. Louis bench. Too many men on the field.
And for the Pittsburgh Spirit, trying to score on the power play, skillful players, they try and make the ball do the work and end up with a shot either high from the point right here or down by the far post.
Ingram shooting and hit the crossbar and came straight down. Gino DiPolito had a perfect angle on it. Paul Chow was claiming goal, but DiPolito shook his head no. The complete ball has to pass over the line. Here's Ingram again. Child tries to deflect it home and shoots it wide. And Davis clears for St. Louis. They will post up Paul Child, and he'll try to knock it in the back door. Whatever side the ball is on, Child will usually get on the other side along the goalpost.
Well, you can call it a garbage goal, call it whatever you want, but the man scores goals, and the idea in a power play is to get that ball down low to Paul Child so he could knock it in for what we call a layup.
Here's Ingram, a shot high off the glass. It stays in play for Helmut Dudek. A big shooting defender on the left wing. 50 seconds left in the Pittsburgh power play. Leite, that one blocked by Bellinger. Back to Dudek. Leite for Ingram. Duran defending there, so's Davis, and Daryl Duran will be called for pulling down Godfrey Ingram from behind. Unofficially, foul number 4 on St. Louis.
And there's Duran diving in with the right leg, taking down Godfrey Ingram. Godfrey shaking off the effects of that hard tackle. And it comes at a really dangerous point on the field at the top of the box with a 5-on-4 power play.
They were calling to the Pittsburgh bench for the trainer to look at Godfrey Ingram, who evidently now will stay in play.
Bob, that's a decision the referee must make. If he calls for the trainer, that player must leave the field, as we see Godfrey Ingram doing right now.
He obviously did not want to leave. Dave Douglas, the Pittsburgh trainer, escorting him off. And so now they'll replace Godfrey Ingram with Z. Kapka.
Let's watch on this ensuing play for Pittsburgh to settle up to do that.
There he is. Ooh, it got behind Slobo, but it hit near the near post and came right out. 35 seconds left in the St. Louis penalty. Stuart Lee was screaming at the timekeeper for not starting the clock while the play was in motion, and he's still moaning about that over there. He'll probably have to spend about 5 extra seconds. They were slow in starting the clock. Paul Child for Hagen, and is blocked there by Sam Bick. Bick looking to clear. Davis gets a piece of it. Sammy Bick back for Daryl Duran, and a dangerous play called on Dave Hagen of Pittsburgh. That'll be foul number 3 on Pittsburgh.
That's great pressure by the St. Louis penalty-killing team, keeping that ball up in the air, blocking shots. Now with 7 seconds, 6 seconds winding down on the penalty, in effect, they've killed it off.
Shep, I think they're talking about that time.
In 1 second.
There's 6 seconds left. And I think I heard somebody say in 1 second they'll let Stuart Lee out of the penalty box because they wasted about 5 seconds before they started the clock after that dead ball situation a few moments ago. That is the word now. 1 second left on the penalty, so...
No, he's coming out now.
Okay, we got clarification on that penalty situation. Stuart Lee winning his first debate of the year with the officials, and that's a rare occasion.
Well, and credit the official in the penalty box, Terry Campbell, for being alert enough to spot exactly how many seconds the clock did not roll.
And that's the point of him being there. It's just too difficult a game to officiate without somebody in the box on the side of the field. It's just a situation.
1 second left in the penalty, and it has been explained to both team captains, Sammy Beck and John O'Hara. They have explained it to the crowd as well, so they won't boo when a guy comes out early.
Well, the two teams playing at halftime today, please
5:54 left in the first half of play. A momentary pause in the action. Thursday night in the league. Thursday action. Wichita beat Dallas 7-6. And last night, Kansas City, a big win at home over Baltimore, 3-2. Alan Mayer's only given up 3 goals in 2 games, and Baltimore now has to turn around and play at Minnesota tomorrow. Here's Daryl Duran for Tony Bellinger. Teams are back at even strength as St. Louis kills the penalty. St. Louis, one of the top 4 penalty-killing teams in the league. Sammy Bick looking to center. It's loose for Davis. Out to the point as Pittsburgh clears, and Paul Child gives it off. Here comes Dave Hagen. And a block by Daryl Duran.
These guys are absolutely unwinding from all distances on the field. I think it's a credit to the goaltenders that they know we must get some shots on these goaltenders. We're not going to score the perfect goal, but let's uncork it. Let's take some shots and see what happens in the box.
5 minutes remaining. Dave McKenzie on the left side. Or Hagen, who tries to break downfield, but he's marked up by Sammy Bick, so this forces Pittsburgh back to the goalkeeper, Bursic. Now they'll knock it around. Dave Hagen down the left wing. Val Tuchsha in front. Child was looking for an easy header, and Bellinger was there to knock it away. Tony Bellinger has showed us so far today why he is an all-star defender. 6 times in the league, the only player ever to make all 6 all-star teams.
Tony Bellinger all over the place, all over the field, always in the right place at the right time. They're heading a dangerous cross by Val Tuchsha off the line.
Right wing, Stuart Lee for St. Louis. Duncan McEwen overlapping by him. Goes to the left point for Fredrickson. To the corner. Fredrickson centers, and he almost knocked it in just under that crossbar. He hit an unbelievable shot just high. Here's Carl Rose for St. Louis. His first appearance. Give and go with Lee. In front. Cleared away. Looked like Tuchsha got in front of it. And here comes the Spirit. Ian Sibby's in his own red line. Up over the top. Long ball. Paul Child. And it's over the glass. It'll be a goal kick for St. Louis. The officials call their timeout. And we've got 3 minutes and 48 seconds left in the second quarter of play. Still the goal by Zekepka stands up. His first of the year from Paul Child. Last minute of the first quarter. Pittsburgh leads 1-0. Bob Carpenter along with Shep Messing in Pittsburgh, and a great ball from Zekepka to Paul Child.
And Paul Child streaking down, collects that ball on his chest, just out of his reach as he tries to flick it over Slobo. But again, that quick counterattack, that long through ball, the killer pass, almost creates another goal for Pittsburgh.
We're in the last 4 minutes of the first half. Betancourt, Ebert, Pesa, Fredrickson, and Rose out there for St. Louis. Ian Sibby's with Fred Gagura at the front line for Pittsburgh. They've got Nicky Klinkarski at midfield, and O'Hara with Topolsky back on defense. Slobo up to his red line. Now to the right side for Carl Rose, who's got some good space to work with down that wing. Centers it, and Bursic punched it away. Topolsky on the right side for John O'Hara. Carl Rose on Gregura. Back to the point it goes. We have a whistle. Evidently the ball came up and caught somebody on the hand. It may have been Pesa. And that's 5 fouls on St. Louis, so 1 more on them, and Pittsburgh will have another power play on the 6-foul penalty. Klinkarski stopped by big Armando Betancourt for St. Louis. Foul situation crucial now for the Steamers, who have 5. Pittsburgh with only 3. Here's Armando Betancourt. Left side for Ebert. Lets the ball play off the boards. Chopped down there hard by Ian Sibby's, and that'll be foul number 4 on Pittsburgh.
Little Sibby saying, how can I take down a big fellow like Don Ebert?
That's how. On the ensuing free kick, Diego Pesa with a shot to the far post wide. Back the other way, Pittsburgh. Gurgurev down the middle, and Slobo is there to knock it to Betancourt. 2.5 minutes left, second period. St. Louis wanting to get on the scoreboard before they go to the locker room.
Both teams really finding it difficult in the last 5 minutes to create chances because they're being marked all over the field. Really, it's hard to believe we're looking at a 1-0 score at this point in the game.
Klinkarski, nice ball for Topolsky. Oh, and Slobo, a diving save. Ebert or Duran looking to clear it away. Don Ebert gets it back. Goes to his team captain, Sam Bick. Pittsburgh out shooting St. Louis by a 3-1 margin. Duran left side for Stuart Lee. Lee to the penalty area. Still with it. And he shot it high. I think he was a little surprised to see he'd gotten through all that traffic still with the ball. Duran for Bick in front. Dave McKenzie clears that one away. It'll be a kick in on the right wing, and we'll take a timeout. 1:33 left in the first half. Pittsburgh holding on to that 1-0 lead. Well, we'll put you right in the goal with Slobo Ilievsky, and you've got to stop a hard-shooting Pittsburgh attacker, Adam Topolsky. And now, just as we come back, Pat McBride, hollering from the St. Louis bench, is asking for a timeout so they can talk over some strategy. In the last minute and a half of the period, Shep, Pat evidently feels this is a crucial enough dead ball down deep in the Pittsburgh zone. He wants to try to design a play that'll get his team on the scoreboard.
Well, it's an opportune time for Pat to call a timeout, and it is a strategic one. 1:33 left in the first half. He's now discussing the specific set play that he wants his Steamers to put into play.
Well, ESPN is your ticket to exciting MISL soccer. Next weekend, we'll be in Dallas for the Tacoma Stars and the Dallas Sidekicks. The Stars are led by the MISL Offensive Player of the Week, Gary Heel. And the Dallas Sidekicks are an entertaining side to watch. When Tattoo scores a goal, you can usually find his jersey somewhere up in the crowd. That is next Sunday, November 17th. Our kickoff is live at 2 p.m. Eastern on ESPN as we continue our coverage of the Major Indoor Soccer League. Don Popovich, the Pittsburgh coach, his team on top, 1-0, 1:33 left in the second period. He's a guy that's been a legend from a coaching standpoint in this league. In fact, his Las Vegas team last year had one of the greatest streaks ever. They won something like a dozen games in a row. Pat McBride had a very slow start in Kansas City last year, and ironically enough, the last game he coached for the Comets was against the St. Louis Steamers, who really put one on them 10-1 in St. Louis just before Christmas, and then Pat resigned the next day, replaced by his assistant Rick Benben, who's doing an outstanding job at the Kemper Arena now. Here's Daryl Duran, the trigger man for St. Louis. Up over the top, Godfrey Ingram knocked it away. Shep, it seems like if you don't get that free kick off in the first 2 or 3 seconds, things start to break down after that as far as people running off the ball, and that's what happened to St. Louis.
Well, the problem is with the free kicks, it takes impeccable timing, and so early in the season, it's difficult to have that timing down pat. But to pick up where you left off, such history between these two teams, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Don Popovic, Pat McBride, a lot of tradition.
Here's Pesa from Mikowski, back to Gregg. Popovich and McBride played together outdoors back in the 60s. In fact, Don Popovich said Pat McBride was probably the best American player he saw at that time. Less than a minute left in the second quarter. McKenzie will switch it left side. Helmet Duda looking to get it on that left foot for a shot. Takes it right-footed instead, hit it just wide. And Gurgurov narrowly missing on the header rebound.
A great opportunity, and I think both coaches are going to go into the locker room at halftime lamenting those chances that they didn't put in.
Red Gurgurov down the left wing. Centers. Ball miskicked there by foul zone. And it's controlled now by Sam Bick of the Steamers. Back to Slobo Ilievsky. 10 seconds remaining. Looks like we're headed for a 1-0 halftime. Dudek. Long ball for Gurgurov. Slobo gets there, and we've played 30 minutes, and Pittsburgh has the only goal so far. Kepka from Paul Child in the last minute of the first quarter of play. A lot of action, but still a defensive struggle. David Bursic has shut off the Steamers in the first 30 minutes. It's 1-0 Pittsburgh at halftime. We'll be back with more from the Pittsburgh Civic Arena in just a moment.